Hey, if you'd like to earn CEUs for this webinar, join the Safeopedia community at the link in the description below. Now, on to the show.
Hey everyone, yeah, I'm Randy Miller and I'm the City of Gillette Safety Manager. I've been in this position for about 8 years. I just want to get into the content because we've got so much content to get. And how much time do we have, Jamie?
You are a good 40 minutes, Randy.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to go really quick then. Okay, so bear with me. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. Jamie can get those to me if the session runs long, but we got to get going. So here we go.
Okay.
So first of all, let me see if it's going to work for me. See how I'm going to do that. Okay, so a little history about me. So for my first really 9 years in safety, I was a solo safety professional. I did have a behavior-based safety committee that I got to work with, which incorporated observers and coaches. And then I was also involved in our OSHA technical assistance side. So then in 2006, I left that shop behind and went and ventured out into the surface coal mines. So I spent about 10 years in the coal mines. It was vastly different. I had a safety pro team with me. I also got to develop our mine rescue leadership development team, and I got to do all the mine rescue training. So for the last 8 years, I've been back to a solo safety professional. So I do have a safety committee, which I utilize so much, and we'll go more in depth of that. But then also, I'll talk about our workers' comp safety and risk division that we got to partner with. So I'm just going to keep going. So the solo safety professional, when I first started off, I was on my own. I did not have any help. We did start a behavior-based safety process in '98, which led me to create a safety committee or a steering committee. This team was made up of 8 hourly employees and 1 operations leader or management. It was a very high-performing team. The thing I loved about them is I got to utilize the safety committee or the steering team for many different applications. So anytime that we wanted to expand our reach, they were more than willing to go that next step. This was my first introduction to leadership training, and I loved it so much. We had a very highly profitable, dysfunctional team. So corporate actually hired a Zoe trainer from Zoe to come in, and every quarter we met with him, and he took us through a different application in leadership development, and I just fell in love with it. So this was really cool for me. So in the state of Wyoming, we are a state-run OSHA program, and we had partnered with our technical assistance side to do a state-run program, a technical assistance program called EVTAP. Once you're in that for 2 years, you either get out of it or you have to graduate to the federal program, SHARP. The interesting thing is the 3 consultants I had, they really took me under their wing. They knew, I mean, gosh, I was probably 25, 26 maybe. And it was really great because they knew that I was a positive influence. I had passion for learning everything about safety, and they literally took me under their wing. So every year they would have these 3-day collateral duty classes. I think I probably attended 3 or 4 of those in the first 2 years just to get the knowledge of the regulations that apply to our operation. And now we go to the safety team with the coal mine. So started the surface coal mine. It was a large team approach. So it was the first time I'd ever had to deal with corporate, if you've ever had to deal with corporate. But so we had corporate director, we had safety director, we had safety managers, and in our site level, we had safety supervisors, analysts. We had summer interns that we got to hire, which was really great for our mine rescue team because they became patients for the whole summer. It was really great. I also had maintenance trainers that were training all of the mechanics, and then we had production trainers that trained all the people how to operate the equipment. So the other thing that I didn't want to be just fenced into our mine. So we had 3 different mines in the Powder River Basin. So I had other resources that I could draw from. But we would meet with our Powder River Basin Safety Association. And this is where once a month, all of the safety reps in our basin would come together and share those things that were working for them, or let's say something that MSHA was really focusing on. And we'd share that at those meetings. And so for the last 8 years, I'm back to being solo again. So I did start with a city municipality. It's the first time I've ever worked in government. If you've ever worked in government, then you totally understand. I'm on my own private safety island, and coming in, everybody is looking to me to have the answers for the questions that they have. And so it was kind of a little stressful situation when I first started out. But once they realized that I had the knowledge, I had the passion, and I was highly positive, a lot more people would keep coming and asking questions of me. So again, we have a team approach. So I have a safety committee, I have management champions, and I have divisional champions. Again, I reached out for state assistance in July of 2016. Our state OSHA program divided in half, and half of them stayed with OSHA compliance, and the other half went to this new division. It was called the Workers' Comp Safety and Risk Division. I just thought of it more as technical assistance, like I was used to with OSHA. So I also have the ability, being in a government, I mean, anybody can apply for grants, but those were open to me that I didn't know before. And then there was also risk reduction funds through our pool insurance company that they provide for anything that's going to reduce risk or improve safety. Those monies are available. I just have to ask. So I know I can't do this, Jamie, but normally if this was a session, I would like to poll the audience and find out. So I'm going to rely on Jamie really for this next question. So if you are a safety, if you're part of a safety team, put a number 1 in the chat. And if you're a solo safety professional, put a 1. If you're asleep at the wheel and you don't even know why you're still here, then you can just nod off and we'll be fine. So Jamie, you get those stats to me later, but I'm going to continue on with the presentation.
Oh, I got lots of ones, Randy.
Good. Okay.
It's one and it up.
Okay. So some of the things that we're going to go through today, workers' compensation program, safety management systems. Obviously, I'm going to talk about safety committee, safety champions, asking intelligent questions. Really good slide on that. Safety social networking, which we'll talk about that later as well. Stay current with the rules and regulations, conferences, safety vendors, and additional resources. And here we go. Okay. So workers' compensation program. I already said that we have a state-run program. So Ocean Workers Comp talk. And this is one thing that was weird for me when I first started in safety, because we would have our opening conference and they would have all of our workers' comp data. Well, they share the same database, so they had access to all that. So with this state-run program, we have like I said, the Wyoming Workers' Comp and Safety and Risk Division. We have an annual inspection. Stormy, who is our inspector, she comes out every year, tours all of our facilities. The only caveat, we have to fix whatever she finds, which is fine. If we didn't, she could walk it across the hall to OSHA, and then OSHA compliance could come and find me. But really, we don't want that. We have a dedicated claims analyst. So for all of our workers' comp cases, when we actually send in the report of injury, we usually get confirmation right back that, hey, we're going to have that case file number for you here shortly. And that's the number that really we give to the employee so they can handle all their doctor's appointments. Anytime we have a question about a workers' comp case, we have the option for third-party review. And this is where workers' comp actually reaches out and finds a doctor, and that employee goes to get that second opinion from a third-party medical review officer. Cost benefit analysis. So we get this once a year from them, showing where we're spending our money, what type of injuries that we're having those, what part of the body we're having injuries in. So that's a really great thing. The thing that I love the best, though, is access to their peers network. So any day of the week, any time of the day, I can run a loss run report, which will show me the most current medical cost for that claim. And it covers medical costs, indemnity, and other additional expenses. So, and then with those stats that I got when I first started, I was able to save the city $380,000 because they had so much money left in reserve because no one was taking a look at their loss run reports. We also have safety and discount programs. So we have a safety discount, which basically you have a safety committee, you have a safety manual. You can get up to a 10% discount on your workers' comp premiums. Drug-free workplace. If you have a drug and alcohol testing program, the 5 tests that are mandated through the state, then you get another 10%. And then if you partner with either OSHA or the Workers' Comp Safety and Risk Division, then you get another 10% discount based on your injury, severity, frequency, those kind of things. So, and then we also have the Safety Improvement Fund. So every quarter they award this, the state awards up to $10,000 for anything that's going to reduce risk, enhance safety at your operation. We've used it to hire presenters to come in. We've hired it for equipment, for gear, different things. So basically you just apply for it. And I'm not bragging, but every time we apply for it, I don't know if other people are not applying for it, but we always get those funds. Okay, moving on, safety management system. Now, my good friend Chip Duffy, he's here in the conference. So they have different safety management systems. So again, you could raise your hand, Jamie, if anybody that had an SMS software program. So we have HSI, we have Velocity, EH&S, and EH&S Momentum. So I had to work with no budget. So anything that I wanted to improve the city, or if I wanted to bring in something like this, you're budgeting a year out for this. So it really didn't work very well. I knew we needed something in place. We did have a software program in place. I won't mention the company's name, but it was a pretty good system, but it came back to the safety private island with me. I was entering all the incidents, and I was the only one accessing the data, so why really bother? So I created my own in-house. So for all those people, your head are going to explode when you're talking about if you origami any of those that have a safety management system. I'm sorry, I'm broke, so I built my own. So I've actually created an Excel database, and I use this to track incidents, workers' comp claims, insurance claims. If we have a claim against a city for like a citizen backs into our vehicle, OSHA recordables, we track repeat offenders. I don't know if anyone else does that out there. And then we use this data to develop trends. Luckily, we haven't had as many incidents as larger organizations may have. So it's really hard to develop trends when you don't have a lot of incidents, which is a good thing to have. So this is what it looks like. Hopefully you can't see it because all my Excel junkies out there will make fun of me, but I'm colorblind, so I like to use a lot of variation of color. I'm not totally colorblind, but I can see variation. So I like things to stand out. So I can see right away, yellow or OSHA recordables, orange or workers' comp, green or near miss, and the rest are just what they are. Okay, so now safety committee. I do have an affinity for Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, so I always like to find these memes and throw them in. And I really relied on the safety committee probably more heavily than the previous safety manager. So in the past, what they were doing was reviewing these things called Pride Awards. Someone nominates a fellow coworker for going above and beyond, and that was their big task. Well, when I came on board, we gave them a lot more tasks. So we created bylaws. They did not have any bylaws in the past, so we created them and we stick to them and we review them on an annual basis. I wanted to create a rotation schedule. So it's kind of a plus negative thing. It's a double-edged sword. If you have a rotation schedule, that's great. It ensures that your safety committee is not going to get stagnant, burnout. So it keeps your safety committee evergreen. The only problem is when you have major projects like we do, if we rotate somebody off and put somebody on, then you have to try to bring that person up to speed. But that's why you keep really good meeting minutes. So I utilize them as a tool and resource. We do them for our monthly safety inspections. Anytime our annual inspections with workers' comp safety and risk are going on, that safety committee member for that department or that division, they're walking right alongside Stormy during the whole inspection. It's a great resource. We created new policies and procedures. So out of the incident investigation that we've done, I'll get to it in a second, but we've actually created new policies and procedures. I'm going to share some really nasty news, but in 5 years' time, we had 50 backing incidents. So that was our main target, and it actually helped us write a backing incident prevention policy, which also led to an early intervention program to catch those people that are repeat offenders. So I taught them how to look at contributing factors, what caused that accident. And then I taught them how they would actually write root cause analysis statements, meaning if Jamie, you're on site right before the incident was happening, what could you say or tell the employee to do that would prevent the incident? And that we actually use all those contributing factors and root cause analysis statements to build a very good internal procedure and policy. We do have a June safety. We partner with the National Safety Council every year. What this means is I write, with the help of NSC, I get their proclamation, I critique it, or I kind of change it for our operation. And so a couple years ago, since I do have a video channel and I love video, I came up with a great idea to actually record our safety committee members reading parts of the proclamation. And that was year one. So now this was our third year. So in year two, we decided to reach out to directors. We actually had the mayor, we recorded the mayor reciting one of the one of the bullet points of the June safety proclamation. So, and then we show that at our annual June safety training day. Every June we shut down we have 4-hour session in the morning and 4-hour session in the afternoon, so more employees can attend. So we're not depleting each division with 4 hours of training. And this gives opportunity for everybody to participate. Again, using the safety committee, I put it back on them and said, okay, we're going to have 4 stations. What do you want to teach on? So really putting that ball back in their court. I have my own ideas and agenda, what I think we should cover, but I really want to hear what they want to do. So we've covered advanced first aid. We've done backing incidents. We've done drunk goggle gator driving obstacle courses. We've done the House of Horrors, which was our wash bay. We turned it into just a slurry of different hazards and seeing how many they could find in the course of 15 minutes. And then this year we had a safety scavenger hunt, which was a total hit. If you ever have any questions about that, just reach out to me. So find your champions. I knew I couldn't do it alone. I could go in there and be the really egotistical safety manager and say my way or the highway, but I knew that wasn't going to fly. So I needed to find those champions. I found the supervisors who already support safety. We have a couple micro learning trainings that we do, and the divisions that actually complete their training sooner, that means they have the good leadership that's promoting that. So that's my champion that I want to go walk right alongside with and invite them into these conversations. So delegate and assign responsibilities. So incident reporting. We had a huge issue when I first started that incidents weren't being reported or they were being reported late. So I actually enforced, or I should say reinforced, the safety incident reporting procedure. And it took about 9 months to get everybody on board, but it's actually working really, really well now. So incident responding. So the previous safety manager responded to every little bump and bruise and scratch of paint. And I just realized I did not have that much time in the day to do that, with anywhere from 100 or 90 to 150 incidents a year. Because yes, we report every little scrape and dent. So we ask the supervisors to do the responding. Now, if it's a medical, so property damage, supervisors, managers, you guys can handle those. Anytime they have a question or they want any information about rules and regulations, they can always ask me. But anything medical related, with being a medic for the last now 18 years, I want to respond to those. One, I know the hospital system, I know the workers' comp system, and I know the OSHA reportability system. So I like to be there. A lot of people that get injured, it's usually the first time they're being injured. And if you've ever been in that situation like I had when I first started here in Wyoming, there was no one to guide me through the process. So I'm there to champion them, walk them through the process, teach them the paperwork, and kind of go from there. So employees, again, I'm trying to find those employees that already support safety. These are the people that are bringing up ideas. They're bringing up ideas, but they're also bringing up problems, but they're bringing up solutions. I don't have time to have somebody just vent about a problem but not have a solution. If it's something serious, yes, I will look into it. But if it's just something that they're just kind of bitching to bitch, then that's the things that I really don't try to go after. So I found those divisional champions, the ones that are silent leaders. So wastewater, for instance, we have 18 employees in that division. We have a manager and we have a supervisor. But you have a lot of little leaders inside, the silent leaders, that they've been here for 20, 30 years, and they know how things are going to work around here. Those are the people that I want to go and ask them, hey, we have this situation going on. How do you think we can fix this? So really getting those silent leaders involved. Plus, if they have a part to play in writing the policy or coming up with a procedure, then they're more apt to actually support it inside their division. Find the subject matter experts. This worked great when I worked at the mine rescue or did the mine rescue training out at the coal mines. Find those and really utilize them as much as you can. But you need to develop those relationships, and it cannot be fake. Has to be honest and open. No hidden agendas. No sleight of hand. No thing like that. Nothing like that. But you need to be honest and open and tell them what you're really trying to do. Ask for their opinions and ideas. These can help you smooth out changes. Yeah, that's how it is. But then I want to talk about the checking account policy. This was actually given to me by one of my captains at one of the coal mines. And he actually called me out and said that, Randy, he goes, if this was like a banking system, you're overdrawn. And I was like, what does that even mean? He goes, you're asking me to do so much, but you're not giving back to me. I was like, wow, that's profound. So make sure you're making way more deposits in those employees than you're asking for those withdrawals. Ask intelligent questions. I started going around asking questions when I first started the city. And the sad part is when I would ask a question, let's say it's a compliance issue, and I didn't like the answer, well, that gave me a job to do because now I willingly and know that we're doing something incorrectly. And that means that I had to correct it. So I wanted to ask those intelligent questions. It's great to identify gaps in our system. So we always have those silos that we operate out of. And unless you get in there and start asking those questions, asking those things that really frustrate them the most, that's the only way you're going to identify those gaps. We identified numerous shortcomings. So every time I would get an incident report in, even though we had the incident reporting procedures, very ironclad policy, still people weren't following the procedures. So what I did is I had a legal pad sitting next to my mouse on my desk, and every time that an incident would come in and have an error on it, I would write it on this list. Once that list filled up, I went back to the HR director and said, hey, can I get 90 minutes with every supervisor so I can clean up all this? It actually was such a hit that we do it every other year. One, because we do promote from within and we have new supervisors, but it's a great refresher for those supervisors. So it helps us develop standards and practice. So we've invited finance into our insurance claims. So in this incident, in this meeting, we had a hard time. Our employees have a hard time filling out a citizen-related incident. And so we had finance come in and do basically the same thing I did, which is what's your most frustrating thing? Oh, it's not that PD was notified. You don't have the correct information on the report. So our finance senior admin, she came and she actually kicked off the presentation on teaching them how to fill out a citizen incident. So it sets the bar high, make sure everybody's on the same page. So the supervisor safety training, these are just the topics that I cover in that 90-minute session. Citizen-related incident report, incident reporting policy, post-accident drug and alcohol testing, medical-related incidents, incident paperwork, incident investigation, preventable versus non-preventable, workers' comp claims, recordables, procedures, and how that employee gets back to work, and then monthly safety facility inspections, and then our walk-around inspections, which we had kind of a really rough couple of years there that people weren't doing those. Okay, how am I doing on time, Jamie?
You are doing fantastic. I have to hit the stop button at 50. So you got 22 minutes and then there's lots of questions. Hey,
Okay.
Randy, also
What?
I don't know if you can see this, but we ran the poll and 62% of the people in the room are solo.
Nice.
There you go.
Welcome to the club. Okay, so
Cool.
we're going on. This one is perfect. What a great slide for this event that we're actually in. So I was pretty much, I'll share a little quick story. So I was kind of like your safety wallflower. So when I would go to safety conference, I would, well, I'll get into the Abbey Ferry list later, but I would actually map out the classes that I wanted to take. Maybe there were some vendors that I wanted to see. And, I would do that. I would go to my session, I would go to the vendors, and then I'd go to my hotel room. I'd, eat in the hotel. I was a loner. And I didn't have a lot of people that I knew. I saw some really great presenters. I knew they had high quality presentation skills. And I was like, man, I really want to be like that someday, but I don't really have anything to offer. And then a good friend of mine actually caught me at one of the safety conferences, Tim Page Butterworth, and he actually said something to me that kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. I love presenting, but I've only presented to like 20, 30 people at max. So he asked me, hey, you need to start submitting some proposals and get more involved. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. And he said, no, Randy, you've got a story to share. So just having those safety mentors, man, it was great. So that little, I would say, push out of my comfort zone led me to all of this. So, and I'll kind of go through that here in a second. So I want you to grow your network, get more involved. Easy way to do that is, this is a prime example. Most of the people that I know through safety are either from Safety Connect or LinkedIn or those two other major conferences. So you want to grow your knowledge. We talk about ASSP. If you're a member, great. They have great literature. You always have resources you can reach out to. They have different chapters, charters, different things that you can partner with. Same thing with NSC. They have divisions. And then, actually back to ASSP, they have actually practice specialties as well, which is what I'm involved with. So NSC has a great membership. That's where we get all of our information. If you ever want to partner with NSC for June Safety Day, they give you all the information, all the weekly minutes you want to send out, toolbox talks. It's really, really great. Safety certification, there's a couple of them out there. I know we have NASP here with us today, and also you have BCSP. conferences. So connect with those people in your industry. So for me, it was practice specialties. Since this is the first time serving in public service, I needed to find out kind of the lay of the land. And so how better to do that than to find other people that are in the same position that I am. So that was the practice specialties. That was the Northern Rocky Mountain region, Fort Collins with NSC and ASSP and the different divisions. Next, if you have an issue or a problem, you can try researching on your own. That's great, but why not ask people if they've already done their due diligence? So it's really great to reinvent the wheel. It's kind of fun, takes a long time, and I don't know if anybody's a master at Google search like I am. Then that's great, but really I would rather reach out to somebody that's in public service. Hey, if we're having an issue with a water division, hey, I'm going to reach out to my friend Sarah Wagner out in California and say, hey, we're having this situation. What do you think? I want to get information from those other people. Volunteering. Some people, Daniel, who he might be in this session, I got to meet him earlier today in our one-on-one, and we kind of talk about the phrase of volunteering or voluntold. Okay, so I volunteered. I volunteered my first time with the public sector practice specialty with ASSP, but it was more of a voluntold. So, hey, Randy, you'd be really great for the professional development chair. You should sign up. Hey, all right. Before the conference was over, they had already accepted me in that position, and I didn't even know what I was getting into. So, but that led me to so many more networking opportunities and speaking opportunities as well. So it was a great opportunity for me to give back to the safety community. So I do have 26 years of knowledge in 3 different major industries. And so if there's somebody out there that had a question, I would love to be that resource for those people. And matter of fact, I met somebody at the NSC Spring Conference in May that he knew I had an MSHA background, and he's actually sending me questions. He's down in Louisiana, and he had some questions, and I was so thankful that I had the knowledge, and I also had the ties with the MSHA inspectors here in town that I could reach out to them. So again, expand that network. Podcasts. Oh, people's heads are going to get really big here, but there are so many podcasts out there. So originally, how I found all of this was through the Safety Justice League, Jason Abbey, and then that evolved into the Illusion of Safety podcast. But there are so many out there. You have the Safety Pro podcast with Blaine Hoffman and Drew Hinton. You have the Accidental Safety podcast with Jill James. You have On the Safe Side from NSC. You have EH&S Daily Advisor. If you have not signed up, and this is not a promo, I don't get any kickbacks for this, but if you are not signed up for the EH&S Daily Advisor, I highly recommend it. Granted, if it's stuff that doesn't pertain to you, great, you delete it. But you're going to find those opportunities where you're going to be able to either sit in on a webinar or participate and listen to a podcast. And then BCSP has their big safety challenge podcast as well. Wealth of knowledge out there, great resources, cover a variety of topics. And it's amazing when somebody says something on a podcast, it will trigger something in my brain going, oh, hey, I kind of relate to that situation. And here's what I did. So again, trying to share that safety knowledge as much as possible. It's a great introduction to other safety professionals. Josh and I always kid about this because Josh in the bottom corner, Josh, we actually met through Safety Justice League. We also met through the Safety Connect, but we never met in person until we got to our first safety conference. And it wasn't awkward. It was like, dude, I've known this guy for the last 2 years. I finally get to meet him for the first time. So I've had people come up to me at safety conferences and say, hey, you're Randy Miller and you're from LinkedIn. Yeah. So it's like, it's great to be recognized like that, but to be able to be a resource to anyone else in the community is what I strive for. Okay. Websites. This is going to be it's probably going to be, you already know all this and I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but I already said NSC, we have the Safety Nights community, which is a great community, free community. ASSP has their CDC, NIOSH, OH&S, and then we have the ANSI website as well. So wealth of knowledge out there. It's going to take you a little while to get there. But again, if you expand that safety network and you reach out to those people with, hey, I have this situation, maybe that person is going to say, yeah, you need to go to the ANSI website and find this ANSI standard because that's what's going to apply to you. Or you could spend hours trying to do it yourself. Expand the network. I'm going to say it over and over again. Okay. Email lists and newsletters. If you've ever gone to a safety conference and you have your little badge, I wish I had one here with me. And you go around to the booth and they're like, hey, can I scan your badge? I'm kind of scan avoidance now because of this. So it can be a plus, but it can be a negative. So I'm going to go through both of them. So you can sign up for weekly or monthly emails and newsletters. There's EH&S Daily Advisor, Con, Massell, Carey, EH&S Professional. Squincher has a great website. OSHA Quick Takes have a great little website for you there. Safety and Health, National Safety Council actually has so many more different, depends on what you're looking for, that you can really get down to it. They do a membership weekly. They have the On the Leading Edge, and they have their Safety and Health magazine. So conferences. So look at these. Look at all these that come up. And there it is, Safety Connect 2024. So I like to pre-plan. So when I got the agenda for Safety Connect, I started going through and figuring out which sessions that I wanted to attend. Now we know we have to, now granted, with this conference, it's great because you get to go back and replay and rewatch the ones you didn't get to see. So most conferences don't offer that. So that's another huge plug for this one. So, but you have NSC's national conference. They have the national, plus they have the spring. ASSP has their national, plus they have chapter and divisional meetings. VPPPA, National Ergo. We just had the ISFP just this last week. And of course, our annual Safety Connect. And I do have to do a plug for the mini Safety Connects, because this isn't just once a year. We keep going throughout the year. So I want to look at hot topics that I need to learn more about. What are some topics that you're a subject matter expert in, whether it's fall protection, it's DOT regulations, MSHA, OSHA, whatever you're an expert in, great. You can expand those, or you can look for those things that you need to find out to be better, a better subject matter expert. The easiest way for you to get knowledge on a topic is find something that you really have a good passion about and submit a proposal. Okay. Not saying that you're going to get picked every time. You know, I thought, you know, you did, but that's just one life lesson that I learned, that sometimes your topic makes the grade and sometimes it doesn't. And you have to be okay with that. And you have to make sure you don't take it personal. Okay. So you go there for the conference to get the sessions that you want to do. Safety vendors, again, I pre-plan. If there are safety vendors that reach out, once you sign up for a conference, you usually get inundated with some emails. Hey, come stop by our booth, come see the new latest gear we have. And that's great. Then in the apps, most of the time, you can just pre-plan and pick those vendors that you want to go see. What problems are you trying to solve? Like the biggest one right now, obviously, probably the biggest regulation that we're dealing with right now, granted, I hope we're moving out of it in the great state of Wyoming, is the new heat standard. So getting some information. There must have been 17 different electrolyte replacement vendors at this last conference at NSC in Orlando. Samples, but be very careful. Okay, so when you go to these conferences, remember how much your bag weighed when you got to the airport, because if you go around with your little swag bag and you start filling that thing full, you got to pack that in your bag, or you're going to be carrying it through the airport with you. So most companies, though, just ask them, hey, I'd love to have that sample. Can you mail it to me? Some will, some won't. But hey, you get to filter out the ones, and then your swag bag isn't as heavy. Create, develop relationship, friendship with vendors. For me, it's like, I guess it's weird to say this, but it's like a high school reunion. Anytime I go to the expo, there are certain vendors that I always go see because I've created a friendship and relationship with them. So whether or not I get to use their products or not, I've created that friendship and I wanted to keep it going. And then I get to keep in contact with them throughout the year. Obviously, LinkedIn is a huge way to keep in contact with those people. If I have any issues, if I have a safety topic that I want to cover, I can reach out to these people. Heck, if I want to hire them as a presenter at our next June safety training day, as a presenter, motivational speaker, perfect. That's what I can do. Okay, additional resources, publications. There's so many publications out there. So if you're a member of ASSP, you get the Professional Safety Journal. If you're a member of NSC, you get the Safety and Health magazine. Those require money to be a member, but guess what? OH&S, it's free. Okay, IHSN, there's another safety magazine that's free. NFPA offers some really great publications. ANSI, of course, through ASSP, and ANSI offers great publications on anything that you want to find to get more information about. So now we talk about webinars. So there are a ton of free webinars. So one of the things that was probably maybe a drawback, I guess that's probably a positive thing, I guess I would say, but coming out of COVID, how many of us actually attended way more webinars in the years 2020, 2021, and 2022? Yeah, that's me. So I sign up for webinars, whether I'm going to attend them or not, because if I sign up for it and it's over and I wasn't able to make it, they send you a link to the replay so you can watch it on your own time. So we have, again, I don't get any plugs, but this is funny. EH&S Today has a lot of great resources. NSC, ASSP, and then Safe Start have some really great resources that are out there for you to use if you're having an issue or you want to learn more information. Okay, videos and posters. This is where my graphic artist, I love it. Okay, so I wanted to raise the bar. So in the past, what the safety manager would do is send out an email. Hey, we have this training next Thursday. No, what I did is I went one step further and I create safety posters. I create my own memes. So we have our June Safety Training Day proclamation. We have our June Safety Training Day. These are full-size movie posters that I make. We have the safety and motion body mechanics class that I teach. We want to make a creative movie poster for it. We're just doing this training next week, safety and motion. So I love this poster. You can't probably see it, but it says, if a person lifts a box incorrectly in the woods, will we hear their cries? So thought it was, you got to do something different to get their attention. And then every year I do a or the National Safety Day training day. Usually if I'm not presenting, I'm walking around with my cameras, my video camera, my drone, and I'm taking footage and I put that together to do a summarized video at the end. Now, not everybody can do that, and I understand that, but it's just something that I have a passion for. Oh, and then I have this one. So I just put this in, Jamie, just the other day. So we have these situations where maybe it'll be a challenge. I know there was one year Gabe and I were kind of frustrated with all the talk about the March Madness and stuff. And so I think it was Gabe and I think maybe Jason that came up with the idea of doing Elite 8 of safety logos. So Gabe did this really good video about it as he was like being one of the coaches. So I was like, you know what? Since video is my passion, I'm going to do it as well. So I created my own little video there, safety versus goal zero. And then 2 years ago, I did the Safety Connect promo video for them. I loved it. I got to send a teaser to Jamie when I was on my way to Montana for a family vacation. He's like, dude, I love it. Great. And then this year I did another one just to kind of wrap everything up. But I just love doing that stuff. I've been creating videos for the last 26 years, so I just love doing that stuff. Okay, so now, oh, the font didn't cover over. See, this is what's great when you transfer from computers, but that was supposed to be the Star Wars font, just in case you were wondering. So how many people did we have, Jamie, that were solo safety professionals?
I'm going back to it.
Okay.
55%.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, so that's 55%.
55%. Yeah.
Okay, so this will work either way if you're a solo safety professional or if you're a part of a team. So I really want to ask you, what stage of your career are you in? So are you the young Han Solo? You've been working in safety for less than 5 years. It's a new position. Maybe you're fresh out of college, or you're recently voluntold or promoted into that safety role. And then you get the middle-aged Han. Okay, been working in safety 5 to 10 years. Have some really good experience, have had some successes and some failures, but those people can kind of come across cocky. I like to use the word confident and knowledgeable, but some people look at it as cocky. Then you get into the experience Han, okay? So been working in safety 15 plus years. You've had numerous jobs in safety. You've worked for many organizations. Maybe your life is on, your job is on cruise control and you're just trying not to ruffle feathers just to kind of smooth your way to retirement. Looking forward to retirement, or hey, maybe after retirement, you could be a consultant and come back and present at Safety Connect. So Jamie, I think that's all I have. Oh, I do have a little, oh yeah. So Sarah Bogner and I actually worked together on this presentation. We were going to do this as a joint presentation at NSC show. Her boss wanted her to do it as a solo safety professional. So she ended up doing it for her conferences that she was involved with. But I still reached out to her and said, hey, can you give me some tips? I'm putting together this presentation, and these are the things that Sarah came up with. So she said, be creative with your resources. Get other departments to integrate tasks. So safety tasks that normally you as a safety solo would be doing, you get them to do the work for you. Be honest about the gaps. Anytime things fall through the cracks, a deadline is missed, and it would have helped if you had somebody else helping you. Those are conversations you have with management to see if you can increase your team. Sarah did this, and I think if I'm probably misspeak, but I think she has 4. Yeah, she runs a department of 4 now. So to go from solo safety to 4, man, accolades to her. So creative challenge. Prioritize your biggest risk. What are the biggest things that are going to get your employees hurt, and focus on those? Okay, our plates are going to be super full. So what you need to do is figure out what you can kick off the plate and focus on the big things that are the big risks.